All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do today is we're going to walk through what you're going to experience from paving. So up top, we do have our spectator logged in. It's just going to highlight what's going on in the environment. Now in the seat here, we do have our paver operator, George. So George is going to run the paver. And then we have Alex over here on the screed. And so we're going to spend some time walking through what options are on the screed here as soon as we get George going on the paver. So what George is going to do here is all of his functions show up on this pad. And so he can see his finger. So George, go ahead and put your finger on there for me. If you notice, you kind of see his finger moving across that pad. And we're going to go ahead and turn the machine on. Now, it's really important to notate that in this simulation, I would say that most of the control actually comes from the screed guy. So Alex is actually going to get George set up and started. So we're going to roll over here to our screed guy. And what you'll see here in a second is that you're going to see Alex having control over the actual pad. And so what he's doing here is he's actually moving that extension there, but he's doing it all from the screed control. So the screed man can control the extensions, he can control the height of the screed, he can control all the different things inside this. Next, he's going to be able to turn on our conveyors and control our flow gates as well. So you'll kind of notice those conveyors moving, and then he's going to get our flow gates open. Now in this particular simulation, you need to be about 20% on the flow gates, on the flow gates on each one to get them going. And then conveyors turned up to 3. Now you can run them in 3 or 2, but it's really going to be the amount of asphalt that's going to drop into the actual carrier there. So next he's going to move over to our augers. So our augers, you're going to see RPMs there at 0. Really want to get those RPMs up to about anywhere between 20 to 30 RPM. And then he'll adjust the height as well. So now the height is really going to determine on where we're actually going to be laying this asphalt. The height of those augers want to be roughly 2 millimeters above where we're actually laying the asphalt. So here he goes. He had our RPMs up. Now up top, he's going to go ahead and start lowering that auger, which you're going to start seeing that auger moving. And then we'll go ahead and move on to the next thing here, which is going to be our heat for our screed. So you're going to have 2 options there. You're going to have vibration and heat. Really that's Celsius there. In Celsius, you probably want to start at about 80 degrees Celsius is where we're going to let it sit for a few minutes. And then from there, we'll go up to about 149 degrees Celsius. And that's going to be roughly 300 degrees Fahrenheit for us. And that's really where you want to start the actual paver itself. So go ahead and get up there, Alex, to 149. You'll see again that this screed operator has the ability to adjust all of those numbers. And so now George is ready to actually start paving. So George is going to go ahead and take his parking brake off. And there it goes. And so here's your paver. Now, George, do me a favor and lean over your side there and look at your extension. So George can actually move these extensions. You'll see that he has controls here in front of him, and he can actually now start to adjust those extensions. And what's going to happen is, George, do me a favor and look back towards me, just so we can kind of see your view. You do have Alex over there on the screed. You also have that compactor. We don't have the compactor loaded in at the moment, but it does allow for us to see both what's going on. Now, what we're going to do is George is going to go into a float mode, and we can do that here on our pad. So we're going to click up here in this little man, and we're going to go into a float mode. And so now George can go ahead and move forward. So George, go ahead and kick that forward. And really what the paver guy is really trying to do is keep his paver straight. So now he's in a float mode. We're going to go ahead and kick up his speed. And what you'll start to notice is that after a moment here, so George, go ahead and look down at your extension for me. You'll start to see that asphalt start to drop in there. Now we can run this in a float mode or a non-float mode. And that's really going to determine our thickness in the actual area we're paving. So you'll start to see here in a second that we'll start to lay asphalt. Now, a couple different things you're going to see is that on that pad, there are some different views. So George is clicking through them. So that one there gives you really like an above view, and you'll see that that asphalt start to come out. Then we can do back to our normal view. And we also have kind of an above view right now. This I think is going to change, but it gives you direct view into the auger itself, as well as that behind you, so you can kind of see what you've paved. And we'll continue to let them pave. Thank you.